what is your favorite part of that? Like if you're trying to look, if you're a season ticket holder for the Revolution, you do get a handful of, you can get, I think it's 3 games a year. So if you and somebody else have season tickets, you can get, what is your favorite aspect of going down and watching these guys play? Because I mean, like I said, I mean, you've got to be the only person that doesn't work for the organization that has been at like every single game for the last 2 years. So what is it that keeps you going back to these games?
I think it's the connection. Again, it's not many people there. And again, kind of like what I said at the playoff game, these guys really appreciate having people out there. And again, the more people there, the merrier. But unfortunately, like we said, there's max like 100, 150 people there. But, again, you're able to sit close. The 3 sections they had there, you can get pretty close to the field, which is right by where they walk in and walk out. So you kind of get to form those connections with those guys, which, again, could be very crucial for their development.
That is true. I mean, and again, particularly the last 2 years, I appreciate the style of play, the speed of play, when what we've had to watch with the first team has been, well, unwatchable for long, long, long,
Yeah.
long stretches. Yeah, for sure. But I do think it's a pretty good time. It's certainly certainly a lot less crowded, easy to get in, easy to get out. But yeah, I think hopefully what we'll see is a pipeline that continues where you start to see these guys that you're talking about and you're covering, they start to show up and and have success with the first team. I mean, is there any team that comes to mind that you think gets the most out of their second team?
I kind of brought it up a little bit earlier. I think Columbus Crew has really nailed this kind of, pipeline. You had guys like Jason Russell Bro, who has kind of been a pretty prominent figure within Columbus over the last couple of years. Plus, the got guys like Noah Fuson, who's kind of done really good with Rhode Island and kind of been able to produce a bunch of talent like that to help, whether or not be in Columbus or not. They're able to kind of develop these really talented soccer players to help them in the future.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of the fun part of it too, right? Like we see, like Patrick Leal is playing in Las Vegas now. Ryan Spalding is playing for Sacramento Republic. Damian Rivera is down with Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix. Yep.
Phoenix, yeah. So even if they don't work out here, it is then it is kind of enjoyable to kind of follow along and see how they do. Where they move on to wherever they move on to. But Josh, look. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on here and just kind of get everybody up to speed, on Revs II. Myself included, it's just been such a rough 2 years that there was times where as long as the bad man was here, it's like I really can't really dig into Revs II because I just kind of felt like these guys they're probably not going to get an opportunity to come through. We've got Luis Diaz instead, and we've got the. You've got the life ghost of some of these other guys. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on. It's a fun team to watch. And hopefully again, we'll see better days ahead, for the first team next year. And hopefully Revs II can follow on and have a second, consecutive playoff appearance. Aside from the Blazing Musket, where can people follow you on social media to keep up with Revs II? And what does the off season look like for these guys? How does this whole thing? Does it all come together at the last minute? Like how what is this like? Trying to keep an eye on who's going to be with the team next year?